Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Mahbub. Welcome to our session, Meet the Global Leader, which is organized by School of Entrepreneurship Development. The objective of this webinar is to share the journey of an individual, of a professional person, uh, how he or she has learned through her journey or his journey, and some lessons for students to excel in their career. So it is a wonderful opportunity for students and youths so that they can learn and get some insights from a professional how actually he or she uh, came through their professional journey from the university life to the person there right now. So today we have invited Miss Farina. She has a diversified and impressive professional track record, and there's so many things to learn from her. So, Miss Farina, welcome to our session.
Hi, good afternoon, all. Welcome. My name is Farina Ghanie. Thank you, Mahabub. So I'm based in Singapore. So I'm going to take you on a little journey, a little story about me, because I think what's really
Definitely.
important is every single person you meet, every interaction you have, every experience you will take on your journey when you leave your studies is really going to help you as an individual become the very best version of yourself. You're going to learn from individuals, you're going to meet individuals, you're going to learn a new way of working. And as you go through your experiences and your journeys and all the different interactions you meet, it will help you to become that very best person. It will help you to improve your skill sets. It will help you to diversify your areas of interest. So I'll start from kind of where I was to where I am now, because you'll probably be looking at my job description or my job title, and it says facilitating the journey of self-discovery. And you're probably thinking, what on earth is that? So let me give you a bit of a kind of behind the scenes and who I am and what I've done. So when I first started out in my work professional career, it's very, very diversified. So I started at a young age. I started at 19. I worked for Tottenham Hotspur's football company. I only did that for a year and it was amazing. Came out of my studies and it was a really good experience to kind of see a different side, a different industry, and I was working in London. And then from there, after that year, I actually went into radio. At the time in London, they were going through the digital audio bill. So if you think about London and you think about the setup of London, it's slightly, I would say, traditional in that sense. So radio was only available on analog. And so they were moving this digital audio bill through the Houses of Commons, the Houses of Parliament. And so we were working with parliamentarians, we were working with governments, MPs, to really help pass and approve this bill. So it was a really fascinating experience to understand how the radio scene, the industry. So the company that I worked for was a trade body for all of the commercial radio stations in the UK. So they represented 360 commercial radio stations. So you can imagine, for me, I'm a radio girl and I love music. So I would listen to certain channels on the radio. You obviously had certain channels that you could get on the internet and you could download and stream. But at that time, the digital analog bill, so it was very, very hard. It wasn't accessible in all households. They needed to ensure that they had all the transmissions set in all of the different areas and locations. So there was a lot of infrastructure, a lot of technical procedures that needed to be put into place. So for me, coming in was incredible. And I worked directly with the CEO at the time, who was responsible for passing this bill through and working with government officials to ensure that really most households in the UK had access to digital audio broadcasting. You would work with the likes of the BBC, who helped fund this area. But for me, going into things like the boardrooms, going into the board meetings and meeting with all of the big players, working, getting insights into what they were discussing. I was like, literally for me, I was there writing up notes, minutes. I was helping with some of the strategy. I was working with all the teams. So I had a really good understanding of what the requirements were, what the need was. And when you work directly with someone like the CEO, you get a really good grasp of all of the information, your access to privy and to information that you wouldn't necessarily get if you were in another part of the department or another head of the department. So I had full exposure of this information. And so I'm like a sponge. So what I did is I was so grateful to have access to this information. So I ensured that I upskilled myself, that I really understood what it is that we were doing, having access to all of these incredible players in the industry, and really understanding the bill that they wanted to pass was incredible knowledge. So I was at Radio Centre for 3.5 years, and so then fast forward, and it was one of the most incredible experiences. You know, we also got to go to really good events and meet some celebrities, probably not celebrities you would know, but I mean, for me, it was a wonderful experience. You know, it was an industry that was vibrant. Um, Learned so much information, and as I mentioned, had access to all these incredible individuals where I just absorbed all the information. So my key takeaway for you or anyone who's listening is, when you're in a company, you know, really embrace and absorb all the information you can get, have conversations with each of the department heads, really understand what it is, not just in your role, what you're doing, but understand the bigger purpose, the bigger business need and requirements. What is the business vision? What is it that they're trying to set and achieve? And then you'll actually understand more about why your role is so important in that organization. And again, the more conversations you have, it shows that you're keen, you're willing to learn and to understand more about the industry and read up, look what's going on in the press, in the news, key insights, data, like all of this is really valuable. And it helps like to really skill you up to become as advanced as you want to be. Remember, the choice is always yours. How you want to apply yourself in that role. You can be as small as you want and just understand what your job and remit is and what you need to deliver. Or you can really understand what the bigger picture is, understand what is the organization here to truly do and deliver, and how can you as that individual play a really big, important role. You know, even when you're having conversations with colleagues, if you really understand what it is that this organization or company or mission is, it really helps you. So after that, I decided to take 6 months out, and I'm a I'm the only girl of six brothers, and I have six older brothers. So I'm it's quite interesting. I think I'm quite a strong-willed individual, and I definitely speak my truth. But I wanted to go traveling around South America. So my parents are born in Guyana in South America, which is the top end of Brazil, and my grandparents were also born in South America, and three generations are based in India. So there was a part of me that just wanted to really understand, you know, this beautiful country and travel around. And what I would say is traveling also to getting exposure to different cultures, different people, different experiences is so important, because you can understand where you live in your hometown, your country. You know, it's great, but there is a life outside of your town, village, country. You know, there are people that have other experiences. You get to see hardship, you get to see failure, you get to see life, you get to see new colors, you get to taste new aromas, you get to have experiences that you would never not necessarily get in your home country. And when you are exposed to those experiences, this is really giving you another insight into who you are, that challenges you. And it really helps you to really become, again, that best version of yourself, to really understand and appreciate the things that you have in life. When you go to another country and you see them living the lifestyle that they do, or maybe living in poverty, it makes you truly appreciate and have gratitude for the things that you have. It makes you appreciate your family. It makes you appreciate who you are and what you have in this world. So I traveled around South America for 6 months, and I did 9 countries, which was amazing. And I did that on my own in my little backpack and had the most incredible experience. So I highly recommend South America. This isn't a plug for South America, but I got to see and experience things. Even historical things, how the Mayans, the Incas lived, the way of life. It was beautiful, really, really incredible. So then I came back to London and I moved into Skype. So when we think about Skype, it was acquired by Microsoft and it's probably not what it was in its former glory. But it was a really, again, beautiful experience. And I'm moving into kind of the digital, kind of the digital age. That we were talking a lot about kind of mobile applications and how this application could really help you communicate to so many people across the world. That interaction, that human, I wouldn't say human touch, but that human interaction with video and voice calling and being able to communicate. It's a way of that, multiplier effect where you can connect with so many people on a global scale, which really brings people together. So Skype was a really wonderful experience for me. And again, it's about really understanding not just your role, but getting to understand the different departments, the various leads, and having conversations. What I would say is never, ever worry or be afraid to ask someone for a cup of tea or a chat, and just to talk about their role, what it is that they do in their company, and what is it that they do, what is their deliverables. Because the more conversations you have, number one, you get to be seen. You get to have an understanding of, again, the company's vision. And you learn with every interaction you have, you learn so much from other individuals, which I find is like one of the most important things. So never ever be a wallflower or feel like you can't speak up or feel like this person is far too senior to be talking to me, because that's, I promise you, from all of my experiences, I've never been in a situation or a circumstance where I reached out to an individual and they said no, they don't have time. In fact, it's the opposite. They're really, they're interested. They want to share their story. They want to talk about what they do. And again, it's really helping you to build your presence in that company. So then Microsoft was taken over by Skype, and we got to meet Steve Ballmer. He came into the canteen. It was quite funny, and he really is larger than life. Like everything you see on the videos, and I mean, he's an exceptional character. But for me, I just felt that when I was in Microsoft, it probably wasn't aligned with me and the company, the direction that I wanted to go in. Um, Ironically, I'm now in a company, or in my own company, but I'm more public than I've ever been in my life. So I would say I'm quite a private person. In fact, I didn't like social media, and I probably still don't. So maybe we don't record that. But I then from Microsoft went to Facebook, and Facebook for me, really, I feel so grateful for the experiences, because at the time in the London office was only 150 people. Now it's something like 4,000 individuals, and it's grown. And this was 10 years ago, so it's a long, long time ago. But what Facebook did for me was I was able to meet these incredibly smart individuals. I was really able to understand what it was that they were developing at the time they were building out the timeline. So that's how long ago it was. And when you understand the ways of working, how they create, how they imagine things, so they would do a lot of whiteboarding. And what I really saw was the power of collaboration when teams come together. So there is a big vision that came from Mark Zuckerberg, which then cascaded down to the senior leadership team, the senior managers, then would then get distilled down to the teams within the organization, the department heads. And what I loved was they gave you the freedom to really create and inspire. They did have, amazing spaces, amazing offices. You had incredible perks. And I just saw how people were able to be free and to really cultivate and harness that creativity, which was super powerful. And I think at that time that was really exceptional. So I got to meet these incredible rock stars who now moved from, Facebook, went, some of them went to Google or went to Netflix or now have moved into kind of Bitcoin or, moved into sustainability or all these incredible different industries. But again, there was still something niggling inside of me that social media wasn't my thing. And it was funny because when I went for Facebook, I had many interviews, like 7, 8 interviews. And when my boss at the time added me on Facebook, he actually said, Farina, funny story. Like, I just added you on Facebook and you've only got 4 friends. So I wasn't using the platform. But that was my fault. But it was something that it was a beautiful tool. And again, it's that power of connectivity and how you can bring people from all different countries together and share a common story, share a narrative and spread their stories. Obviously, it's evolved a lot now. So after that, it was, for me, I knew I needed to think about what my career was going to be. And I fell into, which was really nice, advertising. And it was one of I think, the greatest jobs, and the company was called Ogilvy. And I'm super grateful for this company because I learned so much. I mean, you're put into the fire and you really have to just make things work. I don't know how to describe it. So my clients at the time were Nestle, and I was very, very lucky. So we were working for a global brand called Milo, and they were creating this incredible program. So Nestle really is about getting, at this time, children healthy and active. And they created a pledge that they wanted to get 40 million children healthy and active through sport. And so with Milo as kind of the big brand, they created this incredible program, which was effectively a Fitbit for children. And this Fitbit would track your steps, to track the child's steps. But we evolved the program so much that we created a gamified app. And this app had effectively avatars, these incredible avatars that were their coaches. But effectively, these avatars became the digital representation of the child that would teach them these incredible skills. And these were sports skills. So things like how to run. So things like hand-eye coordination, may come very easy to some people. But when you're starting out and you're young, between 6 to 10 years old, even the basic things of running, are my hands in the right position? Are they running the way, are they in the right coordination? So we created this beautiful gamified, immersive app, 3D app using motion capture. So it was really ahead of its game. And then the child was able to interact with this app, and through the app was able to communicate with their avatar to really learn the skills needed and required to really help them get sports ready. And with the Fitbit, all of this information was poured into this data, like how many steps that they were taking. The parents had access to this data as well, so they could see the improvement of the child, getting healthy. There was also a nutritional counter, so a calculator, so you could see the types of food that the child was eating. So for the very first time, Nestle was able to really own data, like to see how active the child was getting and improving, and validate the claim of this program. So for me, it was one of the most incredible experiences. So you can see a theme that I'm going from radio, moving into, so we were, passing the digital analog bill, then going into technology. So, Skype, Microsoft and Facebook, and then moving into advertising. And so I didn't know it, but that was my path. And it was just really upskilling myself. So I was able to work with developers, really understand really technical things. So through the app, we had to integrate APIs and SDKs from other applications. So understanding things like logic, what are the types of rules that you can create within the application that would be useful to then pull that data into. What we did in the end was create this is called it a big dashboard. It was called a central IoT hub. So all this information could be pulled in, and through, because we launched it in many countries in Asia, you could see the comparisons between each of the different kind of interactions and how kids were really improving their health. And for me, it was, I just threw myself into this. I have the skills at the time to really understand how vast and complex this program was. What I would say to anyone is, whether you know it or not, every interaction, every experience you're having is building you up, is giving you the skills. And so I believe that everyone has these skills and they can be transferred. So if you understand analytics or if you understand data, you can take that learning, that understanding, and put it into another industry because it's still the same methodology, it's still the same application. So I got to learn so much about kind of technology and connected devices and IoT hubs and the Internet of Things. It's really, really, it was wonderful. And then we then launched a smart football. So that was beautiful. And that was then having to work with a hardware company here in China. We also had a hardware company in the US that created the SDK. So it was, very, very technical. But you could basically teach a child how to kick in the right direction, whether it had a curve or angle, so the curvature of the ball, where it kind of the direction it went into. You could track all that information in an app, and you could then pull that data. And again, teaching these skills, these valuable skills to these children. Again, the whole theme is about sports. So I thoroughly enjoyed that job, and I really loved working for Nestle because they're, a multi-trillion-dollar company that are so advanced and able to move into kind of digital applications. But also, yes, I know they sell sweets and confectionery and other things, but they were also doing good. So for me, that was a wonderful experience. Then after that, I then moved into a kid tech company, which was more like marketing, also say advertising to children in a way that was compliant. So I did that for a year and a half, and through all my experiences, I then, I was working in strategy, so I was able to work with really big clients to really help bring an experience that they wanted to their consumers using applications, using technology. So for me, it was just, I've been growing so much and having exposure with all these companies and interactions with all these individuals. I upskilled myself by absorbing all this information. And for me, I'm able to pick things up really quickly. So no, I never studied computer science, or I was never a developer, but I could be put into a room with developers and really understand what it is required of me. And I could distill very complex information into really easy language I was able to communicate to the clients. So then I think a lot had happened at that time, and I think from a very young age, I always knew I was going to be of service. Throughout all my experiences and throughout all my jobs, I loved mentoring people. I truly believe that every single one of you and everyone has the ability for greatness, but you truly have to believe in yourself. And what happens as humans is from a really young age, whether it's to do with our family dynamics, our schooling, our community, our culture, we're told that we're not good enough, or when we need to apply ourselves, or we should be seen and not heard, or so many restrictions are put on us at a really young age. And without us even realizing it, we're growing up thinking that we're not good enough, or we're not worthy enough, or we're not smart enough, or we can't apply ourselves. But if you truly believe in yourself and really know what it is that you can bring to the table, and this is why I created Arise, is because I walk around and I see these incredible individuals, and they don't know how capable they can truly be. And again, it goes back to, we have these incredible skills. But if you believe in yourself and have the right people around you, and have, and really ask for mentors, ask for people to really reach out to them. You've got nothing to lose. What is the worst they're going to say? No? Then if they say no, you ask someone else. But the power of collaboration, the power of people coming together really will help you grow as an individual. So I created Arise. So Arise is a place of discovery, empowerment, and expansion of mindset. So this is a very, very different role from everything that I've been doing. But I believe as humans, so life is really, really hard. It's not easy. We have so many struggles. We have family commitments, we have work commitments, we have relationship commitments. We also don't truly love ourselves. And when I say love ourselves, it's like looking in the mirror. And when you see your reflection, do you truly love what you see? And again, it goes back to when we were younger. we've got all these layers that have been built up over time, that we don't have the belief and the confidence in ourselves. And what I want to say to all of you is, believe in the impossible. Believe that you can do whatever you want to do. Become whoever you want to become. Because we as humans, we allow our fears and insecurities to take over. The words that we use to ourselves, the words that we describe ourselves, we wouldn't even treat our worst enemies the way that we talk about ourselves. When we look in the mirror, we're like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this, I'm too, my shape is not good. No one says these things, no one does. We say these things to ourselves. So it's being kind to yourself, right? Nurturing yourself. Because when you start to really give yourself self-love and you start to believe in yourself, that is when the magic truly happens. So I created a Rise, and the whole premise is, it's really about using ancient techniques and tools that have been going on for centuries. So as humans, we're so overwhelmed with the outside noise. We're consumed with what's going on in social media and just so much things that are not relevant to us. And we want to know what celebrities are doing. We've never even met these celebrities, but we probably know more about their lives than we do than our lives or our friends or our families, which I find fascinating. So if we put all that energy that we do in seeking out this information and actually bring it back to ourselves and focus it around the people that matter, the people close to us, it's a really powerful dynamics. So when you really start to remove all this noise, all this information, all this clutter, all these things that really, truly, in the grand scheme of things, do not concern us, it's about quieting the mind. So I do guided visualization meditations. And I see a lot of people that talk about meditation like, nope, can't meditate, don't know how to, can't quieten the mind, it's not my thing. But what I do is I take you on a journey to really allow yourself to connect with yourself in a way that you haven't done before. So when you quieten the mind and you create stillness, that's when clarity comes in. And what's beautiful about meditation, and this is something that's really important in your country and here in Asia, but they don't really apply it in schools, and they don't use it as much as they should do, is that by doing meditation and also breath work. So breath work, I do a lot of breath work because as humans, we don't breathe properly. We generally very short, shallow breaths, and it's from here. But if you really expand your tummy, allow more oxygen into your body, you're giving yourself the breath of life. You're energizing yourself. So by taking you on guided visualization meditations, by allowing yourself to breathe properly, you're really getting yourself into a beautiful state, a state of clarity. And when you calm the noise and you quieten the mind, that's when creativity, that's when focus happens. And that's really when the magic happens. But again, as humans, we're like, I'm mothers, I'm fathers, I'm colleagues, I'm, in a relationship. I've got to wake up in the morning, I've got to check my phone, I've got to do work, I've got to do this. But give yourself this time in the morning or in the evening or whenever the time is to really connect with yourself, to give yourself this time to breathe, to give yourself this time to just be. And when I mean just be, it's about the stillness, just to listen to your body. So your body is a vessel, it's a vehicle, it's constantly giving us warning signs and signals. And what I found here, especially here in Asia, and I could say this across all of the world, is that we keep pushing our body. We keep pushing our body to the extremes. So we're working at a rate that is not sustainable. We're not sleeping properly. We're definitely not eating the right foods. And for those that drink, when we finish work, we have to, for some people that have to do networking events or take clients out, they're then going out and drinking a lot of alcohol. And our bodies are just saying, I just want to sleep. I just want to relax. But we're like, no, I can keep doing this. I can keep working 12, 14, 16, 18, however many hours that we do in our jobs. So we're working insane amounts of hours. We're pushing our body to a state that's beyond exhaustion. We're not sleeping properly, and the quality of sleep is not good. So I don't know how many of you guys do this, but obviously when you go home and or just before bed and then you're on social media. So that blue light is definitely not, it's not good for you. And again, you're overstimulating your mind. So you've just finished work and then you're consuming yourself with so much stuff that really, in the grand scheme of things, is not important to your world. So you're overstimulated, and then you're going to go try and get some sleep. And then maybe that sleep quality isn't so good. And then what do? We do the same thing over and over and over again, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, and we just keep doing it. And then we're in this vicious cycle. So my advice to you, to any of you guys, is be kind to yourself and take some time out. Meditation. I meditate a lot. In the morning, I meditate for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I get up really early. Like I'm up at 5:30 in the morning, because that's how I want to start my day. So I've made it a habit. I've made it a routine, and you have to be consistent. So if you're going to start somewhere, what did they say? It takes like over 60 to 66 days to form a habit. So just be mindful of that. Rome wasn't built in a day. Things take time. And if it's not meditation, maybe it's like doing a sport, or maybe it's getting your heart racing. Maybe it's getting the endorphins pumping in your body, releasing the serotonin. Whatever it is, do something and do it mindfully and really apply yourself and allow it to become a habit. And it takes time. So you don't have to do it all in one go. You can slowly, gradually, spend 5 minutes just sitting quietly with yourself, breathing, just breathing, allowing yourself to breathe before you start the day and breathing properly. I have a YouTube channel which has some free meditations. I'm not sure if we can share it them, but they're free, and it's really nice meditations where you allow more breath into your body, but it's also about positive affirmations. So as I mentioned, as humans, we're not kind to ourselves. Gosh, we say the worst things to ourselves. So imagine waking up in the morning and hearing positive words of affirmations. Like, I allow good things, new people into my life. I open myself to new opportunities and new experiences. I can be whoever I want to be. I am strong. I am courageous. Like, all these really powerful words that you are as an individual. Remember your worth and know that you are here in this lifetime to be the very best version of yourself. You are here to receive abundance. You are here to receive happiness. You are here to receive joy. You know, you're not here to be sad. You're here to receive the abundance of life. And when you start to think that way and you start to allow things to come to you, and yes, life is not easy. Okay, I can say this hand on my heart. Like, life has been last year was a very big struggle for me and my family. Um, but life brings you these challenges, but also what comes with these challenges, there are lessons to learn. So if you have a really tough time at work and you have maybe a boss that's really challenging, maybe in that moment, in that experience, there is a lesson that can be learned from that. Maybe there's something that you can take away from that. And I would say, if there are challenging experiences that you have in your workplace, please don't keep it to yourself. Speak to a colleague, speak to a team member. Um, you're not alone. I think as people, we think that we're alone in this world. The power of collaboration, the power of sharing, the power of talking and communicating is something that is so special and so sacred in this life. And we think that we're not able to do this, but all we have to do is just really open our mouth and let the words come out. I don't know how long I'm meant to be speaking for. Or am I meant to be asking for questions?
Yep, no, it's true, all right, because like the way you have been sharing your journey is so amazing, and like you have been you have touched all the most of the questions that we basically discussed during that session. And it's amazing, the thing that you mentioned, that we should love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, we know when to stop, when to give ourselves time, go travel, or like do some activities for ourselves. And It's so amazing because like for some so many youths, uh, your experience with working with world's renowned organizations, it seems like, like sometimes if I were a student, I would thought like, I would think that way. Why she actually quit her job from Microsoft, Sky, or Facebook, or Ogilvy, companies like that? People think, oh, if I get a job in a good company or multinational company, I will work there for life. So it is actually some of people's mentality. But uh, when you were a student, you did not think that you would work or your professional journey would be like that with these big companies. But this is the very important point. I mean, loving ourselves or love thyself, it's very important. And the way you mentioned is now people are talking about it everywhere, to do meditation for 20 minutes or 10 minutes. It will help a lot. So here's the point, just what is meditation, and if you suggest very simple um, way to do meditation for everyone, like students, professional, they can do to get themselves, make themselves better.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I kind of touched on this before, but people get really scared when they say, well, we need to meditate. And they're like, oh, I don't know how to quieten my thoughts. What does that mean? Like, how do I have to sit with myself? No, I don't know what to do. So I've created these guided meditations on YouTube, but it's a guided meditation. So rather than just sit with your thoughts, and there's so many different ways of meditating. So I'm not taking anything away from meditation. Every single meditation technique and tool will be applicable to the individual. But what I do with the meditations is I will take you on a journey to connect with your body. So at first, I will get you to sit with yourself and then, be comfortable. And some people can't sit cross-legged, especially guys. Like guys go to the gym and they have tight hamstrings, tight calves, and they sit down all day and they have tight hips. And so asking them to sit down cross-legged is generally a no-no. So you don't have to sit on the floor cross-legged. Sit on a chair, sit on a sofa, be comfortable in whatever space. And if you don't want to sit down, lie down. Okay. So you've got all these different options. So what I do is then breathing is really important. So when we're going into meditation, we're probably still dealing with all of the external things going on, that so they need to prepare themselves. So as I mentioned just a little bit earlier before, is allow when you're breathing, allow the breath. So focus the breath on the tummy, on your tummy. So not when you're breathing is here, but focus and visualize the breath on your tummy. And when you breathe in, it's a bit counterintuitive, but imagine when you're blowing a balloon, your tummy expands, right? So imagine when you're breathing in, you expand your tummy. So you're allowing more oxygen into your body. So breathe in, focus the breath on your tummy. But when you breathe in, you expand your tummy. So you allow more oxygen. And then I get you to take the breath. So you breathe in all the way up and take the breath to the center of your forehead. And just hold the breath there and hold it for a little while. But your eyes are obviously closed. And then you breathe out from your nose. So breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your nose. And as you really visualize and you really get connected with your body, when you breathe in and you expand your tummy, you allow more oxygen into your body. You take the breath all the way up to the center of your forehead, hold the breath there. You're giving yourself that time. Then you breathe out from your nose all the way back down to your tummy. So do that maybe 5 times. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out. Before you know it, you're calming your body. Now, the beautiful benefits of meditation, it helps calm the nervous system. It helps to helps to reduce stress, and it also helps to reduce anxiety. So the meditation will be breathing in a little bit just to kind of clear the clarity of the mind. So your eyes are then closed, and then I will take you on a journey. So because it's guided meditation, what you're doing is you're focusing more on where my voice is taking you rather than all the noise. That's the beautiful thing with guided, visualization meditations. Because it's really, really hard for people just to sit with themselves and just focus a point. in wherever their eyes' attention is, their gaze is, and just be still. It's only when you're more advanced can you really get to that point. So I don't know if you can do this, Mahaba, but if you want to share the link on YouTube, there's 12-minute meditations. You can do it lying down, you can do it sitting down. You just close your eyes and you go on a journey. But there's meditations for, to understand what you want to be for your future self. There's meditations about visualizing your perfect life. There's also a guided meditation on loss, on grief. So if anyone has lost anyone, it's a very beautiful experience to be able to release those emotions that you've been holding on to. There's various different meditations. So I would say try the meditations, but I mean, it's free, so it's accessible to all. But I believe, and they're short enough for you to really go on experience. There is another meditation. It's a really, really cool one, actually. It's called Mirror, Mirror. And this whole thing about not loving yourself. This is an open-eyed meditation. So this open-eyed meditation is that you look into a mirror. Okay. It's for 19 minutes. And I promise you it's going to be, I say promise, but it's going to be the best 19 minutes of your lives. So you look in the mirror and I take you on a journey of self-love. And you remember, as humans, we're so hard on ourselves. Let's be kind to ourselves. Let's say nice things to ourselves. Okay? Because for our whole entire life, we have been beating ourselves up. We have been saying all of these terrible words and things and feelings and emotions. Like now it's time just to give ourselves a break. Okay? It's time. Because we truly, all of us, have the potential for greatness. You just have to believe in yourself. Believe that you can be whoever you want to be. I never thought that I would go from where I was starting to, having my own company and helping others, because I see what's happening and I see that people don't love themselves and they don't believe in themselves. And I want to activate them. I want them to realize their potential in this lifetime. Now, I'm not a healer. I just facilitate this experience. And there's various methods, that are available. There's lots of other meditation platforms and apps. So maybe this one isn't right for you, but discover. The whole idea is discover these things. And if something doesn't work for you, try another thing. As I mentioned, sport's really good. Just breathing. I would say just breathing for 2 minutes. When you wake up in the morning, before you get your phone, you reach for your phone, just breathe for 2 minutes. Breathe. I know it's like breathing is natural. It's something we should all do, but does anyone
Yeah.
truly really sit with themselves and breathe for 2 minutes? Really? And no, we don't, because we don't think about it, because we're running for getting ready to go from the shower, to have breakfast, to go to work, and we're just putting so much pressure on our body. So as I start with, when you wake up in the morning, before you reach for the phone, breathe for 2 minutes. Really deep breaths. Breathe in, expand your tummy, allow that breath to go up to your body, up to the top of your head, and breathe out from your nose. Do that for 2 minutes. You will see a noticeable difference in your whole being. It's so powerful. And it's something so simple. Like, I'm not telling you anything that you guys shouldn't already know, but it's about putting it into practice, right? So breathe properly, be kind to yourself, say nice things to yourself, because, and I really mean this, if you don't love yourself, how can you truly expect yourself to love another individual? And if you don't love yourself, are you seeking this love outside of yourself from another person? That doesn't make sense. Love yourself. Love everything about yourself. Accept yourself for who you are. Okay? And once you, because that is the power. The power is believing in yourself. And then when you believe in yourself, you can do anything. You can have those conversations with anyone. You have the confidence to present, to speak, to articulate your words, to share your voice, to share your story. And as I mentioned, with all of these tools and practices, it really helps to bring clarity to the mind. And we are all creative. If anyone says to me they're not creative, I don't believe them. we all have these incredible superpowers, right? We just need to unlock that box. We need to remove those layers, and we need to find those incredible skills that exist within all of us, every single one of us. So, even things, these superpowers is kindness, compassion, empathy, being a good listener, being a good friend. These are all incredible skills that make you who you are, the person today.
Thank you so much. And it's very simple, but yet complicated. Who thinks it in a complicated way? Because it's very simple. If one person loves him or herself, uh, lead a disciplined life, they will find their what they love, their professional life, the thing that are passionate about. Everything will be connected, and they will lead a healthier life. So it starts with loving thyself, and this is the wonderful thing, that journey of self discovery. Our life is it's an adventure. So the more we love ourselves, the more we explore our inner capability, the more we will succeed. This is very important.
It really is. And what I would say is do not allow your fears and insecurities to take over, because everything, I saw this and I loved it. The saying is everything you want sits outside of fear. Everything. So if you want to speak publicly and you're like, oh, I can't speak, no, I can't, no one wants to hear my voice. Like, that's you putting doubt in your mind. No one's saying you cannot speak. That's you creating that fear and those insecurities. Just what's the worst that can happen is just surrender. Just surrender and allow that noise, allow that fear, allow that doubt just to fade away, and just shine so brightly. It's the power
Yeah,
in you. Everyone can do this.
yeah. There was a cartoon I can recall. It's called Captain Planet. Maybe you have heard of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So in the last in the theme song, the Captain Planet, he mentioned the power is yours. So it's very important. I mean, it's up to us how we are developing this power, how we are using that power. So everything starts with you. This is actually true, and it's natural, and it's a wonderful discussion. Farina, I have to say, the way you put all the things, your journeys, in a simple way, and it is very very visible and insightful for the youths who have watched and going to watch it. It's very simple. I mean, doing meditation and love thyself is the easiest thing, I think, for all of us. Thank you so much. We are at the end of the session, and on behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, I would like to share our sincere gratitude for giving us the time, out of your busy schedule, and sharing the very wonderful yet powerful insights and stories, and some advice that you have given to us. So I believe that it is going to help them to be a self-aware person, and to lead a healthier and successful life.
Wonderful. And I guess my key takeaway for all of you, and I really, really enjoyed having this conversation with you all, is believe that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Just trust in the universe, trust the things will come to you. They will come
Yeah.
to you. Allow things to come to you, and just be the very best version of yourself. No one else can show up but yourself. So yeah, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.